Hello, everyone. I think we've met a few weeks ago. A lot has happened in India since then. And I'm so happy to be able to bring a really interesting crew of people who can tell you about what we've been doing in India and hopefully get to answer some of your questions about both what we've done and what we hope to do in the coming months.
So it was around end of April that Neeraj Trivedi, who, as you know, is the head of strategic initiatives at Pratham India, he connected with me with concerns about the effect that the second wave of COVID-19 was having on, the 6,000 Pratham employees. He had noticed increased stress levels and anxiety among the employees. A lot more of them were falling ill this time. A lot of family members were falling ill. In addition, there was a lot of misinformation on social media platforms that was adding to the fear. So, we both brainstormed and we came up with this idea of holding town hall type meetings to answer questions for our employees. And the goal of these sessions was threefold. The first, of course, was to give the correct information on COVID-19 and the state of the pandemic in India. The second was to dispel the misinformation that was available freely on our social media platforms. And the third was to address vaccine hesitation, which was creeping up, and hopefully to help reduce the stress and anxiety among them.
In my opinion, what the recent crisis has taught us is that there is a need for significant capacity building in the hinterland, significant capacity building of various kinds. And as I look at what Pratham can be doing in that context, I think it should combine two of Pratham's core assets. The first asset that Pratham has is really trust with the communities. It's a little bit like the old postman in Hindi movies, right? The person that everyone trusts. The second asset that Pratham has is the ability to design and implement and measure programs at scale.
What we have done now, we have, I would say, leveraged our Corona Thodi Masti Thodi Padhai campaign to now layer another aspect on top of it, which is called Corona Apni Suraksha. Given the need of the hour, it is important to use all of these connections that we have in 20,000 communities across the country to actually send across the right message on, what is COVID, what is the situation right now, hand washing, sanitization, also making sure that in the future there is conversation around vaccine awareness. As the country gets more vaccine, we need people who are okay with wanting to get the vaccine. So for the next, starting mid-May, we've been working on this campaign, which will last about 6 to 8 weeks across these 20,000 communities. However, as we continue the communication on health, we have to keep in mind that these connections were originally for working with children. And while the primary messaging may move towards awareness around COVID, we need to help children, sort of cope with everything that's going on around them. So we are trying to now introduce what we are calling engagement or coping kits within the community. These are, just a small set of material available to children. They have workbooks, storybooks, content that is usually not accessible in a large part of the country.
Pratham has the infrastructure to train people through its Pratham skilling initiatives. I think we can be doing a lot on the healthcare side. For instance, there's going to be so much equipment in India, 100,000 units of concentrator, lots of PSA plants, lots of BiPAP machines. So there's going to be a need to sort of operate and maintain them. Pratham can be doing something there. There'll be need for healthcare workers training. So a little bit of what will follow in this event, I guess, is talking about those kinds of initiatives.
So today I actually want to talk about 3 types of courses which we are going to be scaling and expanding over the course of the next year. And hopefully through the learnings of the Corona Apni Suraksha campaign, we'll be able to introduce more such courses. The first one is the General Duty Assistant Program, which we've been running for nearly a decade now, but now we're hoping to upgrade this course so that it actually contains content related to COVID readiness, COVID safety, and the course will ideally help people become trained to work as frontline workers directly in hospitals, supporting nurses and doctors with the work that they need to do. We're hoping to introduce micro-certifications so that they can operate ventilators, oxygen concentrators, and other devices, and actually be there for the patients that are making their way to the hospitals. The second type of course that we're trying to launch is called the Recognition for Prior Learning. The target audience in this case are essentially healthcare workers who may have left the system, the workforce, a couple of years ago, but now are hoping to make their way back into the system. And so these are micro-certifications, very short courses. They can be completed in up to 10 days, and it'll ensure that the workforce is quickly getting people to supplement those gaps. And the third type of course, which I want to talk about, is the brand new one that we're launching. It's called the Healthcare Equipment Repair Course. As the oxygen concentrators started making their way into the country, we realized that on one side, we are struggling on how to operate these devices because we've never dealt with them before. But at the same time, these devices are going to start needing maintenance support very soon. And rural parts of India don't necessarily have skilled technicians who can take care of that. So the Healthcare Equipment Repair Course will hopefully upskill electricians and anyone with some amount of understanding about the electrical sector and help them actually take care of this focus.
Faced with the current kinds of terrible crises, I think it was very important for us to spend a little bit of time doing reassuring and providing of important information that helps us get through this, and at the same time establishing what all of us have talked about, a two-way communication. What I want to assure everybody who's listening is that on all the fronts, whether it is children and education or youth and skilling, I think the lessons of the last year, bringing together what is possible from a distance, bringing together what is possible to be done in communities, and also what is possible institutionally when schools or training centers open. I think the team in India is ready for that next step. This pause that we are taking today, I think, is also a very important one, because you really at this time are trying to get back to people, the communities with whom we work, the families with whom we deal, to reassure them, to say, we are here with you for the long haul.